All right, thanks everybody for coming to the Tyler the Team script battle. For those of you who, yeah. We're working on that, right? That's on the to-do list, yeah.
Budget, but it's on.
Yeah, it's not the budget. We don't ever go by a budget here, right? What's a budget? Money's unlimited in real estate. But anyways, thanks everybody for coming. I'm excited. It's always our best training. We get to learn a lot from each other and hear different ways to handle objections. So for those of you who haven't done this before, just know that you guys just get to observe, and after each round or after every person that goes, we're going to all kind of talk about how we would maybe handle it differently. So you'll have time to contribute, chime in, and then also just hear what other people do to handle things like interest rates are too high, I don't want to move right now, things like that. But let me explain how this works. So Melissa, could you click for me? All right, so the rules, go ahead and click. All right, each person will have 2.5 minutes to give their best answer. Topics will be chosen at random by our spinning wheel. Rock, paper, scissors, winner chooses the order of the match, if people want to go first or second. Team member going first will have 1 minute beforehand to prepare after they hear the topic. Team member going second must wait in the lobby, or we've been kicking them outside right now, so nice. With earbuds in and music on, so they can't hear what their competition is saying. Team members not in that round will stay and observe, but only judges can vote. The judges today are me, Melissa, and Kayla.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Judges will send text to Tyler to cast a vote. So
Gotta remember.
yeah, make sure you do that. And then winner receives potentially, it's actually 25 million now. We didn't change that.
Oh, I didn't know what you got.
Yeah, winner receives potentially $25 million in the form of a $20 scratch off, but we're competing for $25 million, guys, the potential. So, or you can take the cash, $10 bill. It's up to you. The choice is yours. We got a few people not win on the scratch off, so now I'm just like, hey, you want $10? Because I'll keep the scratch off. Everyone learns and gets great answers to apply to their business. So let's look at the bracket. So we have 4 matchups. This is going to take 2 hours, guys. Okay. If you have to leave early, go ahead. But we have Anna versus, what are we doing there? Are we going to decide right now?
I have people to fill in the spot, but you wanted me to leave.
Yeah. Okay. So we have 2 openings in case there's people in this room that want to be in the script battle.
Do it.
Does anybody want to do it? It's $25 million.
Christian wants to do it.
Do it.
Yeah, Christian wants
I
to.
don't know how to play, but
Well, so you're gonna get a objection, right? And then you're gonna basically roll by me or Melissa.
okay.
You're gonna have 1 minute to prepare, and then you have 2.5 minutes to work through this, whatever the objection is.
Okay.
And then
The middle ones first so that.
yeah, you don't have to go first,
Yeah.
but we want to give people who haven't had a chance to do it, to try it. I mean, it can't be much worse than like, Max, Nate, or Brittany, the first time they did it. Right?
That was rough.
But you don't feel like you have to, but I just want to ask if anybody wants to try it, raise your hand. All right, so
I'll go against Anna.
You're looking for a first
and then
exit
you
or
wanna go against- or on.
Lauren, you're gonna plug yourself in. Who was the other person?
I had Corey as the other person. And
All right.
then or if Max wants to.
You? Oh. He's like, no, not Courtney.
Once, not again, not again.
Had Lauren versus Nate on the bottom, because then I was doing like guys versus girls, and then I had Corey versus Anna.
It's about to be a girl fight. Want to do it? Guys versus girls?
I'm committed.
All right, Lauren versus Nate, and we'll do Corey versus Anna. Cool? All right, let's get it started. So, because Anna's on Zoom, I want to start with.
No.
Sorry, anybody that's in the room. Let's do Lauren versus Nate to start.
Yeah. We'll get that back.
On two.
Hi, buddy.
All right. Can everybody on Zoom hear me good? Can I get a thumbs up?
I can hear you too good.
Real good. All right.
So
Lauren,
good.
Lauren, can you just say something up there too to make sure we can all hear you?
Hi, Tony and everybody.
Was that good or no?
Wonderful.
Perfect. All right, we're gonna pick the first topic. Here we go. This is the absolute best part.
I like the color choice, Taylor.
The color choice is great.
Yeah.
I want to, oh, look at this long one. All right, for those of you that can't see it, it says, I want to wait until spring at this point to sell. With all the holidays coming up, thinking of moving is just too much right now. This is a lead that you have been following up with for a while, and you call to check in, and this is what they hit you with.
I want to wait until spring at this point to sell, so I'm talking to a seller.
Yep, they want to, so, yeah. They obviously want to sell, but they just want to delay it a little bit. They have too much going on in their life. There's holidays, whatever other excuse they want to give you.
Okay, Tyler, let's,
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure people can see you. All right. Ready? Begin. We're on the phone already. We already talked. We already hit you with
right,
that.
Tyler, so we were thinking about putting your home up for sale, but now you are gonna push it out a little bit longer.
Mhm.
Lots of things going on in life, right?
Yeah, it's just super busy. Holidays coming up. It's just feel like it's probably best to wait till the spring at this point.
Yeah, I'm glad that we can talk openly about where we're at and how we're feeling. So I can help you sort through those things. What is, shit. So we're always busy, so, I understand holidays are definitely busy too. Spring is a good time to sell, but there's so many great opportunities right now that I want to tell you about. Have I already done a CMA with you? Have we already?
No, we just talked on the phone and
I haven't met you.
no,
Oh, I want to meet you,
I know.
Tyler.
I know.
Okay, let's talk about this. First of all, there's lots of things that we need to go over about steps 1 through 10.
Mhm.
So what I would love to come over and see your property, get a feel for it.
It's just so busy though right now. Like, you know what I mean?
It's so busy.
I just don't know if I have time to meet with you right now.
No, but you should. I promise you, this will help you be able to. You do want to meet with me because this will help you. Set up a good game plan. So maybe what?
Ask questions.
Okay, but you're fucking busy. The question is, what's busy? What's your schedule look like? What's the other
I'm
question?
busy. I have lots of stuff going on. Really, really important person.
Oh,
Whatever excuse I give you, it doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. Oh, okay. Can I come over, tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm busy.
Questions I wanna ask you then.
Does he have a goal with the sale?
What's the what?
Does he have a goal with the sale?
Yeah, what's your goal? Like, what's your goal?
Well, we need to sell as I told you via text a few months ago, and then I ghosted you for 2 months.
Yeah, what happened since then?
I told you the house is just too small. We definitely need to get a bigger house. We got a bonus baby on the way we weren't planning. And so we definitely need to move, because we're running out of room.
Right, so if we wait till the spring to talk and meet up, then how are we gonna plan accordingly? Then it's gonna be pushed out to the next season of busyness, right?
Yeah, it's a good point.
So even though I know life is so busy, I won't take too much of your time. I just wanna talk through the goals. I wanna talk through just listening to your story so that we can set up a good game plan of what market we're in right now, if it makes sense, and go from there.
And if we had another 15 minutes, I bet you would have got it. All right, let's bring in Nate, dog.
Good job, Lauren.
All right, Nate, here's your objection. You just called me on the phone and this is what I hit you with. Okay, you've been following up with me for a while. And I said, Nate, I want to wait until spring at this point to sell. With all the holidays coming up, thinking of moving, it's just too much right now. So let's just say we are already talking on the phone.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yep.
Yep.
So we don't have to like revisit what we already said. Just start going.
All right, Tyler, so obviously it looks like you guys don't wanna wait till after the holidays.
Yeah, it's just crazy busy right now, man.
With what?
Got just life. I mean, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so what I was thinking, what we could probably do is, let's get a photo shoot done. Cause photos look a whole lot better in the summer right now than they do when it snows on the ground. You guys done a ton of stuff in landscaping, correct?
Yeah, we spent a lot of money on
Yeah.
on our landscaping, you know.
So obviously, we probably want the buyers to see that, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so what I was thinking, let's get that scheduled right now. Let's get that done before fall comes, leaves are on the ground, snow's on the ground. How's that sound?
What, I mean, I assume that there's some sort of cost to that, and also like, it sounds crazy, but we're just so busy.
Well, the great news is, right now, if you do it today, our team offers it for free.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh,
Zero cost to you, man.
okay.
And you guys could just go take an hour. I'll even pay for your dinner. Go have a night out.
Okay,
Take a deep breath, just go have fun with the family.
I mean, that might work.
Okay.
Is there anything else that I need to know about that? Probably not.
No, I think it's just photos. And then what we could probably do is, what if we put your house on like an off-market opportunity?
I haven't really given any thought to that. What does
Well,
that
if we
look
do
like?
off-market, it's not like everybody can see it. So like your neighbor can't see your home's for sale, your other neighbor can't see your home for sale. It's only me networking with other agents
Mhm.
that might have a potential client for your home. That way we don't have constant showings going on. You guys don't have to leave every day.
Mm.
Like, it'll just be like, hey, could you guys maybe bug out for an hour on Saturday when it works for you guys at best?
Yeah,
They can come in quickly. If they like it, shit, we could probably get your house for a whole lot more
yeah.
than it is when it's on the market, maybe. What
I
are your
mean,
thoughts on that?
I mean, it sounds like that might work. Again, I'm just a little nervous about letting people through the house and getting it ready for photos and all that stuff. But I mean, yeah, I think the exterior photos is a good idea,
Okay,
and he kind of put me in a box, so I think that's all we can say.
okay, sweet.
All right. The vote is in. Moving on to the second round. Nate Dogg. He's advanced from the second or to the second round for the first time. He is giddy like a child. Okay, so really quick, we're gonna go around the room here. Oops, let me switch to me for a second for people on Zoom. So, okay, my feedback is with Lauren. I think, so I made a post yesterday in our team group. And do you remember what it said?
There were like 5.
Well, there was one about the script battle. And it was basically like, don't try not to bring them yeses, try to attack them, destroy their no's. Right? And so I think the only way you can really do that is to ask questions. Right? Like, so if somebody says,
So like, I feel like Lawrence was like trying to get to the root of the issue, which like, if you would have kept going, you could have had them listed this weekend.
Yeah.
But like, so when you hear an objection, don't get focused on the objection. The objection is just an objection, like.
Right.
but also don't help. You didn't know enough about the situation, in my opinion. So for example, I think I finally told you to ask questions. You asked me what was going on, and I said the house is too small for us, we have a bonus baby. But then you didn't follow up with like, oh, when's the baby due? And I was gonna hit you with next month. Right? And then you're like, well, waiting until spring is not gonna solve that issue, right? So it sounds like we might need to get you on the market sooner.
Yeah.
You can maybe pivot to the off-market thing, but I think at that point, it's maybe asking the questions or asking leading questions, right? Like, the answer, right? So if you say, all right, let's just pretend you're a buyer in the spring market when it's going to be busy and you have a house to sell. Do you think a seller is going to entertain your offer very well? Or should we maybe go now when there's a bunch of inventory on the market and a buyer actually has some power currently because the rates are a little higher and it's keeping buyers on the sideline? What scenario do you think is better? You know what I mean? Like, ask those leading questions to get them to understand, because in their mind, they're validated by saying, I'm too busy, right? Because they're crazy busy. Everybody's fucking busy. But then also they're thinking they're right because you're not asking them things to make them question their decision, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, maybe the answer is they should wait because they're so busy, right? And that's fine. But then you can pivot to the green photos, off market stuff. But like Melissa said, I think most people, if they knew what it looked like to wait till the spring and be a buyer in that market, they might change their tune on that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, we're hearing,
Asking the right questions, like, won't keep telling me your business.
ask the right questions and, or ask leading questions. Ask questions you know the answer to. Ask them why, tell me more about that, right? Just if you're ever, like, if you start explaining things to somebody and they keep hitting you with the same objection, you're not making any progress. You gotta like pause and be like, okay, maybe I'm not understanding this perfectly. Let's back up. Let's start over. Explain to me like why waiting until the spring is better for you. And then they'll say, well, I'm really busy right now. Be like, well, and you said a good thing. You said, well, aren't you busy in the spring too? Like, yeah, you're right, I am. Like, you know, so like you had some good things. You just had to ask more questions.
Yeah.
I think. And 2.5 minutes, it's really hard, but
And you have to quit trying to figure out what Tyler's looking for.
well,
Do you like
don't tell me what what you know, like I need to be able to say it out of my mouth,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? Because then I'll believe it. If you tell me, I may not believe it, but if I say it, I'm gonna believe it.
Yeah.
Right. So just that's the biggest thing with any of this objection handling stuff, guys, is ask more questions. Just keep asking questions. If you don't know what to say, ask a question. It's easy. But I thought Nate, I mean, boxed me in real quick. There was not a whole lot I could say to that. So green photos is a very smart pivot. That's why we talk about it.
And like there was the box in, like there's no way that you could have said no to those green photos. No way.
Yeah, really, especially if it's free.
But yeah, like
Can
no
you
way.
pay for you to go to dinner?
I mean,
All of
honestly,
that's great. But I think like if you didn't just automatically default to like, oh, you want to sell in the spring? Why? Like if you would have asked the why,
Yeah.
gotten to the goal of the situation, you could have listed this weekend.
I do also think though, if you get green photos, it is like it's a
Mhm.
step in the door, right? It's
Yeah.
like, all right, well, we got them. Why don't we just throw your house on the market?
Yeah, number one thing
know what I mean?
is set the appointment.
Right.
When you're there, be like, hey man, I also got a CMA. Here's the process of what it looks like to sell a house.
Right, you
So-
show up to like just be there with the photographer, but while you're there, you drop off the CMA and just be like, you know, we actually just sold a house like this down the road, like pretty quickly. You know, your house looks great. I mean, why don't you guys go away for the weekend? We'll just get it sold. Yeah, I mean,
Don't buy the
But-
hotel though.
Yeah.
all right, who else has something that they want to add to this? If you're on Zoom, feel free just to start talking. I can't see everybody.
Someone's in the chat.
Somebody's chatting. What'd they say? Let me get rid of this. Oh, I'm sorry, I totally forgot to stop sharing the screen when Nate was going. Let's move on to the next matchup. So we got some people on Zoom now. Sorry, I gotta get this out of the way. All right, so let's go with Anna versus Corey. All right, Mr. Brenner. What do we got is right? Let's see.
I don't have enough money.
I don't have enough. Something.
Perfect.
I don't have enough for a down payment saved yet.
Okay.
How do we know each other? Let's just say we're at like a function together. We're like friends.
First time
We're just chatting.
chatting about.
And we like, oh, I want to buy a house, but I don't have enough money saved up yet.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, Tyler, yeah, you're great, aren't they?
Dude, these White Claws are overwhelming.
Slap it.
Slapping, they're fire.
No, but it sounds like, so you're thinking of getting a home, but the problem is you don't think you have enough money to get a home?
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
like, it'll be our first house. We've been
Yep.
obviously renting, as you know.
Yeah.
We've played beer pong in my living room many times. It's a great place, but we need to get a house of our own.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's the money part is
Yeah.
scary for us, you know?
Right, I got this. Yeah, so I understand just a little bit more on your guys' side. I know you've been renting for a few years. How much money do you think, or what have you heard that you need to get into a home?
Well, you know, I know we have to get rid of that PMI, you know, like you can't have a house with PMI, right? So you gotta have the 20% down. So yeah, like, I mean, we're looking at $300,000 houses.
Yeah,
So quick
about
math,
60,000 or so.
yeah, 60.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that's a lot of money to be putting down for a home like that.
Yeah, it's gonna take us like 12 years to save
Yeah.
for, you
Yeah,
know.
you could be saving quite some time for
Mhm.
that. But no, there's a lot of great programs absolutely right now that get people into homes that actually don't require that of 20% down. I actually have some clients that I just got into a home 2 weeks ago, but they only had to pay $385 out of pocket.
What?
to get to.
Was the house like $1 or
It was
what?
a $315,000 home, actually, there in Bloomington.
Wow.
So, yeah, they were able to get into that home itself. There's a lot of great programs, for people like yourself that would be first time home buyers.
Hmm.
So there's a pool through the state of Minnesota, we can get to this a little bit later, but they have a lot of down payment assistance programs for people that are first time home buyers.
Okay.
That we could do. Maybe when we're not having many beers.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a great program out there for a lot of individuals to get into home where you
Hmm.
don't have to do. So yes, voiding your concern of what you're saying, yeah, you know, you don't want to be paying the PMI. However, there would be a little bit of PMI associated with that because you aren't essentially putting the 20% down.
Mhm.
However, the way I look at it is that the PMI itself wouldn't be that high from where you're coming in for that purchase price.
Mhm.
What you'd be looking at when I tell people is typically around 30 to, $60 a month roughly. That you'd be paying in addition to what their overall mortgage is for. So what I say is, I know, hey, if we look to get in this house, probably can cut back on a few of those shots at the bar a few times, but.
I don't know, man.
But once again, you'd have to trade off for getting into home, start building equity.
Yeah.
On those purposes. There's a lot of other, programs that are out there right now that help people get into homes. I know you said that 20% down is something that you're looking for. But there's also a lot of other good ones that you can get into programs that get into from FHA.
What if we're looking at like Becker?
Are you looking out in Becker?
Yeah.
There's a lot of other loans that are potentially out there for you. So I know you said we're looking for a little bit of land too.
Yeah.
20%? Okay,
Yeah.
So there are some
Tons of land.
rural USDA loans where you can
Mm.
also get into homes that are 0% down that you have.
No money down?
No money down.
Wow.
So there'd just be a few other costs and stuff that would be associated with it that are, nominal costs.
Mhm.
That you associate with the overall closing, but for the most part, yeah, you can get into home for minimal to no cost. So.
All right, well, good luck, Anna. All right, let's bring Anna back in here. All right, Anna, you there? Yeah, yes?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna share the screen with you just so you can see
Hold on, I
The-
can't.
the objection. Can you see that?
No.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
It says, I don't have enough for a down payment saved yet. So that's the objection. We're hanging out at like a party. I'm a friend of yours and we're just chatting about how I want to get into a house, and then I say I don't have enough for a down payment saved yet.
I have
So
a minute, right?
you let me know when you're ready. Yep. We'll hang out just for a minute. Okay. So I hit you with Anna, I just I can't get into a house because I just don't have enough money for the down payment.
How much money do you think you need?
Well, I was told that, to avoid that PMI, I need to get 20% down. So probably around 60,000 for the types of houses that we're looking at. And that's gonna
Okay.
take a long time to save,
Well, yeah, that's a lot of money, but you don't need to actually have the 20%. Yes, it helps with that PMI insurance, but you can let that stop you from getting a house right now and have to wait, 5-10 years, however long it's gonna take you to save that kind of money. There are many different programs that you can look into, and I can connect you with our lender that could help you with that. But I can answer just some basic questions for you.
Okay. And Anna, hold on, just pause for a second. Maura, can you hear me now? Can everybody else hear me? Apparently Mara can't. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on with Maura's audio, but anyways, back to this, Anna, sorry. Somebody said that they couldn't hear me. Okay, so you're gonna connect me to a loan officer and they're gonna help me figure out what loans I qualify for?
We're gonna meet with the loan officer. You're coming with me to their office.
Oh, okay.
But you're
But
drunk
again,
right
like,
now, so you can't come today.
But again, like I don't think I'll be able to save enough money, so I don't want to like waste your time.
Hold on. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. So you don't have enough money. Okay, fine. The program that I'm talking about, there is one specifically that helps first-time home buyers with the down payment.
Okay,
So you will have to come up with that $1,000 if you qualify, and then with some of the closing costs, depending how much they help you with.
mhm,
So that's a possibility. I've worked with many clients that have used that program, but once again, I don't want to get your hopes up right now. I want to make sure that you understand that it only applies to you if you qualify. Do you
Is
mind
it pretty
if
tough
I,
to qualify for?
I was gonna ask you, what do you do for work? What does your work life look like?
I got the typical 9 to 5. I make like 60,000 a year. Um, retail job.
Okay. And will you be able to gather some of that work information so we can go meet with a lender, let's say next week?
Yeah, I could probably make that work. See if I qualify.
Yeah, and if not that one, there's also many other programs you could qualify for. And that 20% that you have in your mind is not necessarily the rule. You can always put down a little bit less and you know, deal without insurance, but at least you'll get into a house without having to wait many more years to save that up.
Okay. That sounds perfect. And let's do that. But Anna, your time is up. So thank you. Right, so moving on to the second round, drum roll. Corey Brenner. Mr. Yule Brenner. Yeah. All right, Anna. Anna, you didn't get to hear Corey's, but I think we all would have lost to Corey. So he was very polished. Just didn't really leave any room for error. So I guess my only tip to you would be if somebody in your life or anybody you're talking to says something like, I need 20% or I need anything more than 0% down, instead of getting in the weeds on any, like, you can get there, but right away I would just hit them with, oh, well, I actually have clients that get in the house for $1,000 or no money down all the time. There's tons of programs, and don't worry, we'll get you one. Like hit them right away with like that objection just gone, versus trying to figure out like what I do for a living and let's talk to a loan officer first. Like, you want to do those things, but like reassure them right away, like, hey, don't worry, I got you. We have tons of programs, and if you're a first time home buyer, you're going to get a house for $1,000 down as long as you qualify, but most people qualify.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents. Versus so the last one was ask questions. This one, I think sometimes you can maybe ask too many questions if you already know the answer. The answer is no, you don't need 20% down. So, but yeah, Corey got into down payment assistance. He got into rural development loans, which is 0 money down. So, but you did really well, and you would have definitely set that appointment, and you would have got a buyer the house. You just ran into, I guess a perfect answer would be the best way to describe what Corey said.
Yeah, Corey basically did like textbook feel felt pound.
Well,
Like,
that's the other thing. So
Yeah.
does Anna know what that
Yeah.
is? Okay. Yeah, Corey hit me right away with, well, actually, I have many clients that get into a house for no money down or $1,000 down, so for those of you who haven't been in the room before, do you guys understand feel felt found? So feel felt found, the best way to describe it is if somebody voices a concern to you, they're gonna trust you more or believe you more if you can say, well, I've actually worked with somebody in that same situation as you. And I found that blah, 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 right? Like, so versus telling them like your thoughts, just like relate them back to a client you've had. Even if you haven't had a client,
Just say
like if you know
They
they,
dealt in the same.
Yeah. you know what, our brokerage has dealt with, like, whatever you want to say,
Right.
right? Somebody's dealt with it. And so that would be, feel felt found is a great way to like get people to see that you've done it before, so they start to trust you,
Right.
right? It's not the first time that you've heard this, you know what I mean? So that's a really good way to relate to people. Any other feedback you have, Melissa?
no, you guys both did great.
Oh, and those of you who haven't met Melissa before, she's a badass team leader at eXp Realty. So what she says is very good to listen to. And yeah, she's smarter than I am. I just have the camera, so. Anyone on Zoom have anything they want to add? Joni Rusher.
What did he say something? I just want to hear his voice.
You
Yeah.
didn't, oh, I'll bring the voice on if you guys need to hear it that bad. No, the only thing, and I mean, it wasn't part of the argument or anything like that, but another no money down option is depending on all you guys, a lot of you guys do a lot of city stuff, but in our rural areas, we do have rural development. So you do have areas outside of the metro that can be bought with no money down. They do roll your down payment into your loan. But there is a map. If you go to, I think if you go to rural development or you Google it, it'll bring you right
It's
to a website.
USDA,
Yeah, USDA map.
USDA.gov or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And
But no,
that'll bring you.
Corey did bring that up because I ended up,
Okay,
I
I
like
couldn't
him.
hear. I couldn't hear a part of it. So sorry.
yeah,
but-
he was very soft spoken, which was another good tactic.
Oh, I know. He is just sexual dynamite.
He was also flexing. He was flexing the entire time.
Oh,
Or he was standing normally, but either way, it's the same thing.
yeah. He's always flexing.
Always flexing.
Reflecting right now.
Just for you, Tony.
He won't stop.
Thank you, Corey.
Look at him. Where is he? Oh, you can't even see him because he's.
I know those
so-
pecs slap though. Those pecs just slap.
Pec slap.
All right, this was enough.
For the next hour, we're gonna talk about Corey Muscle.
I'm gonna go leave.
You definitely hit arms this morning. I know how it is.
Tuesdays like that, man.
Oh, come on, we all know Mondays are there.
All right. Well, thank you, Anna and Corey. Let's see what the next matchup is. All right, get rid of that one. All right, we're gonna go Mora versus Max.
What do we do, rock, paper? Oh, yeah, shoot, I'll go first, right?
Yeah, Mora, since you're on Zoom, I'm just gonna throw you in the waiting room and you'll go second, okay?
I'm going to work on your.
I'm gonna work with the least expensive realtor. This is an internet lead that wants to sell their home. On your initial phone call, they hit you with this. So it's a listing that they wanna, in their minds, they wanna work with the least expensive realtor because we're all the same. And the market's so hot.
It's like a house in 22 hours.
Mhm. Bring, hi,
Hey, what's up? This is Max.
I already told you. All
Okay.
right, just get into it.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously you're looking to spend the least amount of money possible, right?
Yeah, bottom line is the only thing that matters to us.
Right, for sure. But, with, the value of your home sitting around $600,000, $700,000, you're sitting up at that, starting to get in that higher level home value, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the houses are all selling really fast. I don't think it matters about the price right now, right? I mean, seller's market.
Well,
So,
absolutely, but you're trying to get, good, decent amount of money out of your, or back into your pocket, right?
Mhm.
Perfect, right? So working with agents that, charge those super low commission, you might not be getting the marketing that you're looking for to get that super high value that you're wanting out of your.
well, they all
house.
do professional photos. I mean, we've talked to a handful.
Right,
that-
professional photos, right,
Yeah.
But are they getting lifted onto all of those websites that you want?
I think so.
You think so, right? But
Yeah.
you're not getting that guarantee, are you?
No.
Right, so when you're working with us, we're gonna guarantee you that you're getting all exclusive marketing and it's gonna be posted everywhere that you want it to be posted, right? So if you want it on Zillow, realtor.com, all those things, you're gonna have all those professional photos posted onto those websites.
Those guys are on Zillow.
Which guys?
All the guys I've talked to.
Right, just Zillow though, right?
Well, let's just say for the sake of conversation, they're on every website you're on.
Okay.
Let's just move past this point.
Right, okay, so. Okay, one, you might not be getting that marketing that you're looking for.
Yep.
Okay, two, yeah, they might have professional photos. But our photographer is one thing that you don't have to pay for. It's one of our values we provide for you, is that you don't have to pay for your photos.
Well,
Some
I
of
pay
those-
for it with a commission,
With the commission, right?
yeah, like with your guys' listing fee.
Not
I'm
necessarily.
paying for it.
Right,
you know.
right. Okay, so yeah, you get your professional photos done and it's posted all over the place. But are your agents responding in a timely manner? Are they only working the 9 to 5 or are they working 8 PM, 9 PM? Are they working in your best interest?
Yeah, that part I'm not sure of,
Right. So when you're working with me, this is.
but it's
all-
not that important to me.
Right, okay, and,
Because what's important to me is my bottom line.
right, for sure. So everything is negotiable, okay? If you're wanting to get.
4%?
4%, absolutely.
That's negotiable.
Yeah, for sure, right, it is negotiable. But I wanna provide you with the value of why we charge that certain percentage, right?
Yep.
So, like I said, one, you're getting the marketing that you're wanting, we're gonna sell your house in a timely manner for the most money possible, right? Secondly, I'm available 24 hours a day. If you need things that need to be done ASAP, I'll be there for you. This is what I do full time. Where some of these agents only work part time and this is their side job.
Yeah.
Per se, right? Which is why they charge such a low commission because they don't need to get paid quite as much, right? And their value isn't representing what they're having.
All right. Are you ready to battle, Maura?
Yo, yo.
Yo, I can hear you. Let's do it.
Get the
Okay.
smackdown.
It might be a slight delay, but we'll figure it out. So I'm going to share the screen so you can see the objection. Your objection is, Maura, I'm gonna work with the least expensive realtor. And this is an internet lead that you got on the phone. They want to sell their house. And on the initial phone call, this is what I say to you. So we'll pick up the conversation right after I tell you that I want to work with the least expensive realtor, and let me know when you're ready.
Hi, guys. It's so nice to meet you. You guys are looking to work with a realtor. Are you ready to sell? What's the window of time that you're looking to sell in?
We want to get it on the market pretty quick,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, we just feel like we've been watching the market for a while, and we just know houses are selling pretty quick, and we really want to maximize our bottom line, and just feel that working with the least expensive realtor is probably the smart play right now.
Yeah, I hear you. I get that a lot. And there's a lot that goes into that. What are you guys looking? It sounds like you've been talking to other realtors. What types of services have they been offering to you?
Professional photos, open houses. I don't know. Not much else. We're not really interested in
Realtors
that
don't really
stuff.
do anything.
Yeah. Like, no disrespect. I'm sure that you're amazing, but we kind of think most realtors do, a lot of the same thing, and the houses are kind of selling themselves right now.
Yeah, I hear that. Okay, so remind me, where's the house located?
It's in Blaine.
Okay. Do you guys, would you prefer, there's a couple different pricing strategies. Would you prefer to sell it something off market? Is it something you want to get into bidding more? Has anyone talked to you about pricing strategies yet?
Whatever makes us the most amount of money, probably.
Yep.
Right?
Bottom line.
Yeah. We're open to anything,
Yeah.
honestly.
Sure. So some of the benefits of working with me would be that we have a great team that we can sell it off market, we can sell it on market. And unlike a lot of other realtors, I'm not just a one-woman show. I have a great team that will come alongside of me, and we can offer it to all the different realtors in our group and within EXP. Also, I love to go door knocking, which a lot of realtors don't like to do. So I like to generate a lot of interest in the neighborhood, and get as many offers on the table as possible. So when it comes to looking at what the best bottom dollar is, it doesn't necessarily mean a percentage of the sale, what's going to go to me versus what is going to wind up in your pocket. And so we have a lot of resources that we can come around you with. Do you have time that we could get together and I can lay out the different options of what the packages that we have for you, that we can ways that I can come alongside of you in the marketing strategy we can put together?
I think we'd be open to meeting, but again, if you're not showing us our bottom line is going to be maximized, like it's going to be a tough appointment. But yeah, we're bored. Let's just meet with a realtor. And,
Yeah, let's meet with 8.
Let's meet with 12, and then we'll just go from there. But the timer went off, so we'll wrap it up. But good job.
Yep.
All right, let's cast our vote. After we do a vote, we're gonna go up front and handle this one.
What?
Me and you, we're going up.
I don't know why that one is so different.
Oh, like up.
We're gonna go front.
Like the front of the office, I was like.
I know,
Like the fight, yeah.
I like thought about it right before, I'm like, first stat, went up there, lost it.
All right, this one's a tough one, guys, so don't feel bad, like. It's like the worst one that you could possibly face, but first off, moving on to the next round. Laura. High five. Okay, yeah, so this one's hard, like I said, probably, I don't know, I think it's the hardest
This is
one.
a hard one for a realtor that's been doing it 20 years. But like the root of it is know your worth, know that you can bring more to the table than any other realtor. You just have to find a way to show it to them. I think like the key question to ask when in this situation always is, what's more important to you, paying a commission or getting the most money? Duh, getting the most money. So that's an easy way for them to just fall into your lap. Yeah, I think like Max, you did a good job of like bringing up the risk of like, really, your biggest asset ever, and you're gonna go cheap on it? Okay. I like,
Yeah, you wanna cause some doubt, for people on our team, we know our statistics, stick to those.
Yeah.
Okay, like, so for those that aren't on our team, we track our percent of original list price and days on market, and they're consistently higher than the average realtor, usually a lot higher. I think right now, I don't know, they're 3% more money we're making our clients, compared to the average agent, so it's like, that right there, in my opinion, is what I would wanna hear if I'm the seller, and be like, okay, like that might get me in the door. That's not gonna get it sold, you know what I mean? They're not gonna sign up with you because of a stat like that, because they're gonna assume you underpriced houses. You know what I mean? Like that's just what they're gonna go to. But it might get you in the door. But I think at the end of the day, it's causing some doubt for their mindset to only be focused on the bottom commission number. You're like, really? Okay. I understand why that's important to you. Don't get me wrong. Like, I wanna make you the most money as well, because if I make you the most money, I get paid more too. It's fantastic, right? But there are also things that can make transactions stressful. What are you doing when you move? Because that could be a whole different thing, right? Like maybe they need to find a house, and it's like, well, okay, so you're gonna work with like a for sale by owner company on the listing side for $500, which these companies exist, just so you guys know. And then what about on the buy side? Like, don't you want to have that connection? Like, so you want to cause some doubt, right? You want to ask them their goals, like, walk me through your game time. So you sell your house, then what? Then they're like, interesting. Okay, well, I see there might be a couple issues with that, and here's what I'm thinking. Also, I think it's important to, oh my gosh, just off my train of thought.
That's what I did.
The train's left the page.
That's what I did.
Yeah, like, so I was talking about causing doubt. Oh, the go-to line, you guys, you all have to remember this when you're talking to a person that is trying to use a discount realtor is, okay, who in here knows the average commission paid nationwide? What's the average commission percentage?
Sure.
6, correct, nationwide, okay? So that means Joe Schmo, okay, guy who sells 5 houses a year, should be able to charge 6%. That's the average, because the average realtor does professional photos, an open house, nothing else, right? Like, that's just what they do. So you have to explain that to these people. You have to be like, all right. So I just want you to know, the average commission out there is 6%. So it sounds like you found people that can sell it for less than that, right? And they'll be like, yeah, like, okay. I would be concerned with that because you're gonna hire somebody that doesn't even value their own dollar. They're willing to discount and give away their own money, their family's money, take food off their family's table to list your house for less than they should. So what do you think, Max, is gonna happen when it comes time to negotiate for your money?
I can have the knowledge to do so.
They're just gonna wanna get it done.
Yeah, just close it out.
They obviously don't have a whole lot of value in themselves and what they do. They don't think they should charge enough money, right? So why would they negotiate for you? And I can tell you, I can show you a bunch of examples of things that we've done with our listings to sell them for a lot more money. And once we get an offer, you know what I mean? We don't just take the offer.
Right.
We negotiate, we can work in better terms, because there's more than just money. I know money's important to you, Max, but the terms of the offer are way more important. Because somebody may get you a great price, but then an inspection happens and there's all these other things that come up, right? Wouldn't it be nice to avoid that? You need a seasoned agent to do that for you. So you know what, Max, why don't I just come over? Let me tell you about what I know. I've been doing this for 11 years. I'm on one of the top teams in the state. And at the end of the day, I want you to make an educated decision. You don't have to pick me. But take my analysis, take everything I tell you, give it to somebody else. I don't care. But I'm confident that at least you'll see the value in paying me an average commission compared to this discount, right? Right. And maybe at the end of the day, they're like, yeah, 4% or like fuck off. Right. Then whatever, right? Then they're not for you, and you gotta be okay saying no. And I love that you said no. Because like, you know, you're absolutely. Like, or you could say, you know what, I could do it for 4%, but here's the problem. We have to pay out a buyer's agent. Because you guys also have to understand that there are realtors out there that advertise that they'll sell a house for 3%. And they're right, they will, but that's their side. Okay, so it's actually not 3%. So I also asked that question. I'm like, have you actually gotten a net sheet from these people? Have you seen their contracts? Is it actually 3%? Because they gotta pay a buyer's agent more than likely, or you're not gonna get showings. Like, cause I'm sorry, if I'm representing a buyer and they're like, hey, I wanna see this house, and I look and they're paying $1, I'm gonna be sick that day. Or I'm gonna say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, you're gonna have to pay me 2.7% of the sale price. Do you still wanna see this? They're gonna say, fuck no. So like, be careful where people are like, I'm looking for 4%. Like, well, I actually do it for 3.8%. That's the cool part, but we gotta pay out a buyer's agent 2.5. So the fee is actually, what was that, 6.5?
Yeah, 6.5.
Right? The fee is actually 6.5.
I'm muting
but-
myself.
What was that? Oh, I think she just like sneezed or something.
I think Anna was like, no.
Anna?
I think like along that lines too, because our competition right here is like those fee brokerages for sale by owners. The reason that most for sale by owners fall apart is because it's too hard. Like I've had past clients call me, hey Melissa, I'm selling my house for sale by owner. Can you advertise it for me? And I go, yeah, sure. I'm not going to. But then they call me a month later and they're like, the only calls we ever got were from realtors. And like there's different stressors on different points of the transaction. And you can say like, yeah, but I handle all of this for you. Like our listing packet has a list of all the things that we do, just so that like we're presenting it. I'm like, here, read this before you go to sleep. It's a long list. And like, that's enough to.
Yeah. Here's the other thing, guys, that we didn't bring up, and I set both of you guys up for this. Are houses selling themselves right now?
No.
How many showings did I get on my Coon Rapids listing this week? 0. So wanna know what the price is? $385. 0 showings. Okay, and it's not that overpriced. The market changes. We are not in a seller's market right now today. I think the last stat I saw on that transaction tracker was like 70% of transactions include seller paid closing costs right now. Do you guys know that?
Last week was 46, so
That's
that's a jump.
like, it was, yeah, it's a lot. My point is if somebody says shit to you that's not true, you have to educate them, and you're only gonna be able to educate them as if you know the market. Are you guys checking the hot sheets every morning? Are you, how many, you know this, how many listings came on the market last week? 1990. And how about the week before? 2005, so that's when I graduated high school. We were rich that. That's a lot of listing, and I remember you pulled it up and you're like, that's like double what it was last week.
Yeah, but it was Labor Day week before, so when that comes to.
Well, but it's a lot compared to what it had, right? And so my point is, if you guys know this stuff, if you're like, you know, I think, Mr. Seller, like, you're a little misinformed right now. There's 25 houses on the market in your direct neighborhood, or not your neighborhood, but your direct radius, 2-mile radius, that are all active. And actually, I'm looking right now, and I just did this morning. I was looking for myself for one of my listings. Since September 1st, there's been 0 single-family homes that have sold that have been listed for sale. So they're not just hitting the market and selling; they're hitting the market and sitting. Okay, so this is not the time you want to discount. You want to work with somebody who knows how to sell houses, knows how to price them appropriately, knows how to market them. This market, guys, is the market for the good agents. Like, interest rates might go to 9%. next year, I've heard. Right? This is not a market that houses are gonna sell themselves. This is gonna take hard work and the discount people are gonna go away. But they're gonna go, these guys are gonna choose good realtors. You just have to be one on the phone that has these things to be able to say to them. Be like, this is why you need to be with me. I just wanna educate you on what's going on. The market is totally different than it was in June. Or January for that matter, right? So like I set both you guys up for that. I said, well, houses are selling themselves right now. They're not. And I would have hit them with that immediately. I would have been like, I would have kind of laughed, like, actually, that was like last year. That was the beginning of this year. That's not anymore. And I know it's not just us, by the way, because I checked with a bunch of realtors this last weekend and everybody was slow. Everybody's sitting around holding a listing right now.
Right,
So-
like football, back to school.
Yeah, lots of stuff. And it's typical this time of the year, but I think we haven't had this in a few years, so it's catching some people off guard. Plus interest rates don't help. Like that's the wrinkle that is harder to overcome right now than normal. But yeah, so those are, I mean, I know it was only a 2.5-minute answer, right? You
Right.
can only get so far, but those are the ways I would handle that. But you have to kind of like stick up for yourself.
Tyler, if you're
Don't-
concerned about interest rates, you can just go to a 2-1 buy down. Let me tell you about that real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. That's more so for a buyer. That one might be on our script battle today. But you know, I don't know why it would be. It's not even relevant, but like you guys just have to be able to stand up for yourself and then educate. Like, you know what I mean? And know your value. Don't get into professional photo. I don't care what your marketing plan is at all. Like, or let me my feedback for you. Door knocking, none of that stuff would matter to me because I assume houses sell themselves. So all this stuff is like, yeah, I don't wanna pay for that. I don't wanna pay you more to go door knock, because the house is gonna sell itself. Right?
Yes.
To me, it's like almost insulting in a way of like, you're telling me all the ways that I'm gonna pay you more money. I don't care. What do I care about? I care about money. What I'm gonna keep. Right?
Right.
But if I knew that the person that was gonna represent me was a really bad negotiator because they don't value their own money, that may make me think twice about hiring a discount broker. And if, yeah, and if that discount broker also then explains to me that there's 20 houses for sale in my fucking 1 mile radius that haven't taken an offer in over a month, that also might cause doubt that I don't want to go with that person because they don't even know what's going on. Because they don't get paid enough to care, right?
Right.
And that, like, honestly, that's the truth. If I was working for, if a listing's 4%, I'm getting 1.3%, I'm not doing any research.
There's a reason realtors aren't salary.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, well, whatever price you want, I'll call you.
There is also, you know, one of the arguments that I've used with the flat fee brokerages that are out there is you're signing a limited services contract with those people. And it's exactly that. You are getting limited services from that person for that discounted rate. And by paying me a little bit more, you're going to get a bevy of services beyond that. And it's going to make you more money. And it's going to make me more money. And it's going to both make us happy. Or you can go with that person and you can feel like you're saving money on that way, but they are going to give you, like you guys said already, the bare minimum that they're going to give you.
Well, unlimited, like a flat fee is also, there's no skin in the game. They have
Yep.
zero incentive at all to get you more money. They're gonna get the deal, they're gonna say they negotiated, which they didn't, and then they're going to tell you to sign it. So it's just, and some of that is true, some of that may not be true. It just depends on the person, obviously, but like, those are the things you need to make sure to cause doubt. So do not, if somebody says they wanna go with the cheapest one, do not start talking about your marketing. Hit them with real stats, cause doubt about the market, which is real. You know, we're not telling you to lie, cause doubt, ask questions. And I think you'll kind of figure out like, maybe they don't even need you on the list side. Fuck it, but I still gotta buy a house. Like, cool, you know what? Yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna win you on the for sale by owner stuff, like they're $50, go with them. But I can help you buy. Will that sound good? You know, like there's something that you can do probably. So,
You guys should act this one out real quick, like,
well, we just acted though.
well, yeah,
It would take another 20 minutes.
no, I'll set a timer.
I just gave you guys a ton of stuff. Watch this back, so we're recording it, and then. Okay. Yeah, Mark, sorry.
I've heard somebody argue like, okay, I'll go 4% and whatever the price is that we sell it for above the price that you want to sell it for, like we'll split that.
Yep. I,
what do you think about that approach?
I don't know if I'd ever go to 4%, but if you end up having to do one for less than you ultimately wanted to, but it's a smart one, because maybe without quick or whatever. Like, yeah, I think negotiating like something a little perk for you, like, well, you obviously don't like think I'm gonna do anything different, so what number do you think you're gonna give based on what I've showed you? Okay, this number, cool. If I make you anything else over that, how about you pay me half or pay me a portion of it? I've heard realtors doing that.
I think that's a level 2 conversation though.
Yeah.
It's like you're sitting in the listing appointment, you already got there, you're being qualified, because you don't want to discount yourself right out the.
Yeah.
right out the gate.
Yeah, and I tried that with somebody the other day. They were like complaining, well, not complaining, but they were like, oh, your listing fee is higher and you charge 2 admin fees, like one for buy, one for sell. And I was just like, well, how about this? If I sell your house for $10,000 over the asking price, I won't charge you an admin fee. You know, and they're like, well, that could work. Let me talk to the wife about it. Cause then they're obviously getting value, right? Like, if I sell it for way more than what we thought it could sell for, then they'll pay me the $7.99. Otherwise, yeah, I'll eat it, you know? So yeah, feel free to like do some of that, but just don't do something until it's appropriate. You know, you don't want to start throwing numbers out there and they don't even know you, like, you gotta. But if somebody calls you and says, what's your commission? Just hang up. Like, you're not gonna probably win that conversation. I've unfortunately tried so many
I
times.
think, like,
No, to me,
if that's what the first thing is, be like,
That's what-
yeah,
yeah,
let's
yeah,
get into it, present your value first.
I never tell them the commission, like, I'll just be
Not
like,
on
yeah, sorry, we don't get into it on the phone. I gotta see your house first, because every situation is different.
Yeah.
And then I usually don't get those appointments, so I just know your worth. Don't waste your time chasing shit that doesn't matter. And honestly, do you really wanna work with these people?
No.
They're not gonna value you at all, the entire process, and they're gonna want everything from you.
The whole way.
And the house is going to sit right now, guys, I'm telling you, it's not gonna just sell. Right, like all you guys have been for 2 years or less, you don't know the pain of a listing that is sitting, but it sucks. Right? It's the worst, you literally only can think about that as the realtor. You're just sitting there, like, why are there no fucking showing? I know I'm gonna have to go do another open house for this person. They're not gonna want to reduce their price. They think I'm not doing anything. I've already spent $1,000 on marketing or whatever, and they're gonna fire me.
I'm haunted by shed carpets right now. Yeah.
I'm in my second year, and yesterday I got a phone call from someone who emailed me to set up a showing at a listing. It was the weirdest thing I've ever had happen.
They emailed you?
They emailed me, the listing agent emailed me and then called me and was like, we saw the reverse prospect thing that
Oh.
person like, this house, please set up a showing, and I was like, no one has ever called me to set up a showing. It's so weird.
You're gonna start to see that a lot more. Yeah,
Yeah.
your inbox will be full of reverse prospecting.
You're
emails.
gonna get.
Well, that
stuck, you're
I
gonna
was
get
getting emails, but the phone call.
Yes, well, because they have to, in their minds, they have to justify what they're charging, because their sellers like, well, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call a realtor. Yeah. Take a video.
So weird.
All right, well, hopefully you guys learned a couple things on that one. There's no perfect answer, by the way. All right, let's get into the next one here. All right, the last one for this round is Victoria versus Brady. Victoria, are you still there?
You had to jump off. Needed or something.
What was that? Did she jump off? All right, Victoria had to jump off, so we need someone to step up. Who's going against Brady? Huh?
I'm gonna see it.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, they see it.
Max, close your eyes.
Oh.
Get back out. You're gonna go again.
Oh, man.
Did you see it?
And if
No,
Victoria
I
is
didn't
in,
see it. I
then.
can't read that. I can't read, can't read.
We'll give Max another shot. He's the only one who hadn't seen the topic yet, so that's why I told him. I only qualified FHA, but I know it's a bad loan type, so I'm going to wait until I can qualify conventional.
Why do you think FHA is a bad loan type?
Are we going already?
Why do you think FHA is a bad loan type?
That's what everybody says.
Okay, no, I definitely do that. I've actually had a lot of clients in my past that I've helped get FHA loan deals accepted. Especially in the spring market where the market's a little more competitive, there's a lot more buyers, especially last spring, there was a lot of buyers out. Where now in our situation, this fall's coming up, September's been a little slower, interest rates are a little higher, as I'm sure you're aware of. There's not as many buyers out there, so there's not as much competition. I know in Coon Rapids alone, my team leader has a listing that's had 0 showings in a week and a half.
It's because he sucks. You should leave that team, bro.
But that just shows you that the market's a little slower. There's not as many buyers out there where an FHA can come in. We can get a good deal, maybe even get some seller paid closing costs. I want to say last week it was 47% of all accepted offers had seller paid closing costs, where you can get a little better of a deal, even if it was FHA or conventional. Does that kind of make a little more sense?
That I don't know that what conventional is.
Okay.
Mhm.
So there's two different loan types, right? There's a lot more than two. There's, you have a USDA loan, you have a VA, conventional and an FHA. Conventional and FHA are two different loan types, and one of the differences is that you can bring an FHA loan, you can get a 3% down payment. Have you talked with your loan officer? Obviously, you're qualified for an FHA. What kind of down payment are you guys looking at bringing?
We have the down payment. I just worry that after we buy the house, since people said that it's a bad loan type, that I'm gonna be in a situation I don't want to be in.
So with an FHA, there is a stricter appraisal. They kind of go through an inspection where you have to have handrails, there's no peeling paint, different things like that. What kind of price point are you guys looking at right now?
$250.
$250? Where at?
St. Paul.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
This is actually a funny story. So I actually have a client myself that I'm working with right now that we're an FHA loan and we're 215 and under.
Mhm.
And we wrote multiple offers during the spring market, but like I said, it was super competitive. We were going up against 5-6 different offers. Well, now we're able to go up into a house that qualifies for FHA. It's going to be a health and safety house. It's going to be up to standards because it needs to be for the qualifier, the money to be presented into the house. So you're going to be getting a nice house. It's going to be clean and healthy for you and your family, and we'll be able to get the house accepted because it's not as competitive as it was in the spring.
Okay.
All right, you're gonna be role playing with Melissa. And this is the objection. I only qualified FHA, but I know it's a bad loan type. So I'm going to wait until I can qualify conventional.
Here you read it.
Okay, let's go. All right, Melissa, let's hear it.
Mhm. So, I just don't like FHA loans. I'm gonna wait till I can get a conventional one.
Why don't you like FHA? What's steering you away from them?
I heard they're more expensive.
They're more expensive?
Mhm.
Why do you think they're more expensive? What are the costs that you're hearing from other agents or other lenders, I guess?
Mortgage insurance is a big thing.
Really?
Mhm.
So are you thinking that you have to put 20% down to do with the FHA or what?
Yeah.
Really? So you obviously haven't been talking to the right lenders or the right team yet to, find out what programs are available for these FHA buyers.
Is my lender bad?
Well, I don't know. Where'd you get the lender from?
Wells Fargo.
Yes.
I don't want to point fingers, but he's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, Wells Fargo doesn't have the best reputation, obviously. But I have plenty of private lenders that would be more than happy to work with you, and I think would work better with you to not only get you that program to help you not only not pay 20%, but will be more friendly with you, and they're available 24/7, and they're not going to be working those banker hours. And if you need a pre-approval on the weekend, you'll be able to get one.
Hey, so I've been sitting here the whole time,
Yeah.
okay? We're seeing this house together.
Right.
And my objection with this
Yep.
is like, we just have been told that FHA doesn't get accepted. So why would we're just not gonna put in an offer because it's just not competitive.
Right. No, right, you're not wrong there where it's not as competitive, but with the right realtor and the right agents, you're able to make those offers competitive as well. One, you might not be seeing the right houses, right? Your agent might not be showing you the right homes that he knows aren't gonna be getting accepted, but he's still bringing you out there anyways, getting hopes up, which sucks.
But we want to be able to look at all houses, so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to look for only the right houses. I want to see all houses.
Right. Right.
Sorry, I shouldn't have gotten involved.
Yeah, it's okay, Dad. Is there a wrong house?
There's not a wrong house, but there's certain, you can definitely see all houses, right? But it depends on the seller and what they're willing to do to make that house FHA approved, right? Because there's certain qualifications that have to be met for you to be able to get that loan approved, right?
Does that make it a worse loan?
No, not necessarily. You know, it's better for you financially because one, you don't have to put as much down up front. Two, typically you're getting into a safer home that's not gonna have to be as much work done, so you won't have to be investing as much. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it typically comes down to what the seller is willing to do to make it FHA approved.
All right, moving on to the semifinals. Chance of redemption, Maximilian is in the
I wanna hear why mine was better than Brady's.
side tab.
I think,
Sweet.
so the reason I voted
Yeah.
for you was because you answered the objections, like you went fully prepared in. Huh?
Your question was like, I didn't.
So,
So.
I think so, like, my objection with like first time buyers is always they're unsure about the entire process. They don't know what an FHA loan, they don't know that FHA has a lower mortgage insurance than conventional. So that's kind of like, if they Google FHA loans, they're gonna see bad,
Yeah.
get a conventional loan. So like, you responded better with me saying like, well, I don't really like the loan product. You were like, but it is good because you do a lower down payment and like.
Telling you the why it's good, basically.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And like, I don't necessarily like bring up the appraisal to my FHA buyers. I might make them aware of it. Like, sellers might look at your loan a little bit differently because sometimes FHA appraisals have certain requirements, but any good seller is going to want to sell you a good home. So let's not even worry about that. That being said, if the house is a dirt pile, let's not buy it. You don't want to buy a dirt pile anyway. Is it okay if we take those off the list? Sweet. Next. Yeah. It's not up to the buyer to discriminate against FHA. And also, you just hit my like red button item. Whenever a seller's like, we're not going to consider you because you're FHA. I'm like, oh, really? Department of Commerce. Like, that's my red ticket item.
So I would have voted for Brady.
Okay.
And here's why.
Would never did.
What? I would have voted for Brady because you said two things, Max, that were wrong.
Okay.
Like straight up wrong, which could get you in trouble. So you have to be careful.
Okay.
One, FHA isn't less money down than conventional.
Okay.
Conventional has a 3% option.
It has a 1% down option too.
They have,
Got it.
yeah, there's,
Mhm.
so just, I think a lot of people are like, well, FHA is less money down.
Right.
No, it's not. There's better options out there for conventional buyers, so just be careful with that. And you also were like, well, it's just better, I think you said something like it's better financially or something like that, but FHA has PMI.
Yep.
For the length of the loan, and technically sometimes just depends, could have higher interest rates and stuff, so like, just don't put yourself in that box where you're telling people, oh, it's better financially and less money down, because you're gonna look like an idiot when they,
Find out that it's not.
right,
True.
so like, just, if you don't for sure know the answer, and it's really hard to ever tell somebody like it's a better financial decision for you because everybody's situation is different.
Correct.
I would just be careful with that, but I thought that you handled it well, for sure, until I got involved.
Right.
But I just wanted you to kind of go down a different path, because it was,
Right.
you were handling it too well, so I was just like, all right, let's get you something else. But, and then Brady, you did really good job too, very good demeanor. I think your tone was good, you were like, you did the feel felt found right away, all that stuff, so I think you handled it great.
Thanks.
You guys both would have been fine, but just do not make the cardinal sin of like saying something that's actually wrong,
Got it.
because you can't go back from that. If you're just like, I'm not actually sure, let me dig into that, like, you're still safe.
Okay.
Don't just start throwing stuff out there, right?
Yeah.
And FHA is 3.5% down, not 3.
Yeah, 3.5.
Right. Got it.
That's the minimum, right, for FHA?
Yeah, you can
3.5.
do the 20% down FHA, and sometimes people do that, even though the mortgage insurance carries, because sometimes it is a lower rate.
Right.
But obviously, like, go to a lender to talk
Well,
about options.
and
like
then I
that.
think the other thing we didn't even really get into, which would take longer than 2.5 minutes, but like, okay, they qualified for FHA. There's a reason for that, and they didn't qualify conventional, which usually means their credit score or the debt to income ratio is not gonna work for conventional. So if they're like, I'm just gonna wait, what's the cost of waiting? What's the cost of waiting? How much equity are you losing out on? How much, net worth are you losing out on because you're gonna wait? How long is it gonna take? Have you had a loan officer talk to you about how long it's gonna take for you to get to qualify conventional? Oh, you haven't? Let me get you in touch with mine for a rapid rescore. They'll tell you what you gotta do. Oh, it's gonna take you 5 years. Okay, yeah, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna buy a house now. And the market's perfect for FHA right now, as you were alluding to, because your team leader sucks at selling houses, right? So like, I think it's, again, try to like just destroy their objection, like their no's. I think it's fun to tell people the yeses and stuff, but like, go at them a little bit and be like, but why did you only qualify FHA? Tell me about that. Oh, it's interest rate, all that stuff, or credit score, all that stuff, cool. And then go down that path, because they may be uneducated. They may think it's gonna take 6 months or 3 or something. It's like, no, the loan officer is telling it's 2 years. And because you had a bankruptcy or a whatever, and you just can't. So we're not gonna wait. We're gonna buy a house, and here's how we do it. So that'd be my only other tip. Anybody else have anything they want to chime in on? I don't want me and Melissa to only be the ones talking, so.
Could they, also rebuy into the conventional one?
What was that?
Later
Sorry.
on down the road?
Yeah,
Refinance
refi.
it, and then they could get rid of the PMI.
Yeah, that's a great point as well. You can always refinance. Let's just get you into a house now, so you don't lose out on the equity that you're gonna, the appreciation that you're gonna get, you know?
We're very much in a refi market.
Anyway, you're gonna refi if you get conventional now today,
Right,
if you're having that conversation today.
right.
I even had conditions with the lender.
Can you speak up just so these guys can hear?
I had an FHA buyer for a little point, and we were running into lots of conventional buyers and just, there weren't a lot of opportunities at that price point, so I talked with the lender to see if they have thought about moving it to a conventional. Just to be able to like get in that, like, their bad conditions, you know? And that was that was an option. So they got to educate, the lender got to do the talking and education on what it would look like to be in that.
Well, and that brings up a good point too, like, have they only talked to one lender? Like, well, okay, maybe this lender is not good at their job, right? Like somebody alluded to, like, let's get you in touch with ours, because we can go lower on credit scores. We can do this, we can do that. Let's just see. And worst case scenario, the buyer doesn't work with you for whatever reason, but you gave a lead to your lender partner, which hopefully they'll send you a lead in the future, and now you get something from it. Like, get them with your people. Because who knows, maybe they do qualify conventional and they were just told the wrong thing, you know? So yeah, there's lots of ways to take that one, but just don't tell them incorrect things. That's all that matters. Okay. All right. We are on to the semifinals. Maura, do you have something to say? I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on with your audio or our audio connection. You got to unmute. Okay, try it again.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Can you hear me? Cool.
Yes.
Wasn't there a change in the way that we present purchase agreements now, that we're not supposed to include the type of financing?
So they were supposed to add something. Department of Commerce came out with something at the beginning of the year that said that the purchase agreement is going to remove down payment assistance from the financing part. They just haven't done it yet, so it's still in there.
You're still gonna have to disclose FHA or conventional, though, I would imagine.
Yes.
I'd be
always.
shocked if they took that out of there, but yeah, the down payment assistance part. I think there's a lot of confusion because sometimes it's not being disclosed, sometimes it is. I usually just like write it in in that line, but there's no regulation on that, so I think they're just gonna remove it. Okay. Let's move on to the next round here. And we'll get through these next ones in 30 minutes. You guys will be out here by noon. All right, so first matchup is going to be is Corey versus Max. Let's roll with that.
You can do that.
You guys can do rock, paper, scissors, or
More, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, in that one, yeah, Corey versus Mora. So Mora, I'll throw you in the waiting room, okay? All right, sale prices are just too high for me to buy right now. This is a lead you met at an open house and you were checking in the Monday after the open and they say this.
Hey Tyler, this is Corey, how are you doing?
Good, good.
Good, so yeah, just following up from the open house, saw you there.
Yep.
So I know we kind of got into a good conversation, you're saying that prices you thought were a little bit too high.
Yeah, just everything just seems really high, you
Okay.
know, in price, so I don't think we can buy right now.
Got it. Have you had that initial conversation yet with that of a lender or?
No, not necessarily talked to a lender yet, but I mean, just
Okay.
looking online at
Okay,
mortgage calculators, you know.
gotcha.
Like the monthly payment necessarily isn't the problem, Corey. It's just we just feel the prices are just really high. I mean, they've been going up forever,
Yep.
right?
Yep, so understanding, I know you're in a home right now, what are you currently paying right now for your mortgage?
$2,500.
Okay, and do you like to stay around that area roughly, or what's your guys'
We
kind
could
of
go up a
like,
little bit, you know,
Okay.
under 3,000.
under 3,000 or so a
Mhm.
month? Okay, and then do you know a little bit more on your rate right now that you're currently?
We're at like a 2.5.
2.5,
you
yeah.
know.
So it's gonna be pretty hard to beat some of those rates that you have right now. And looking for that up level of home.
Yeah.
Right, than what it sounds like we need for here in this next one.
Yeah, well, we have to move, you know, we got a bunch of reasons we need to move,
Yep.
but again, just like, we could probably swing a mortgage payment, like,
Mhm.
in our sale price
Yeah.
range that where we met you at the open house. But again, I just, the prices themselves.
Yeah.
The sale prices are just
Yeah.
so high.
Okay, so understanding, you know, the homes itself right now, where they're at, where are you feeling comfortable with from a price point standpoint of what you feel would be comfortable?
I mean, we're opened up to like 400, but again, we just don't want to pay
Yep.
an inflated price.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. So good news is homes right now, they're on the market and have been for a little bit longer of time. So right now for you, what it sounds like not wanting to pay as much, there are a lot of incentives for that of new buyers getting into that of homes. So one of the programs, or excuse me, not one of the programs, one of the features that they do have is asking for seller pay concessions, right? So it's kind of giving you a little bit more of a deal on that sense, saying, hey, you won't have to pay full price of what it's looking like, and we can structure deals and offers to make it more comfortable from a price point standpoint of where you're looking at.
Mhm.
Is that something that you would entertain in order to get into that next house? or
I
is
mean,
there
we'll
other
take
rules?
any extra money we can get, you know what I mean? But we really want to make sure we can try and negotiate
Yeah,
on those prices, because more than likely, you know, we're guessing that the market's gonna correct itself here
Mhm.
this next year.
Mhm.
We kind of feel like it's best to wait until the prices start to come down.
yeah. Do you have any other like events or anything going on here for the rest of this year that's stopping you from getting into a home? or-
No.
Okay, so understanding where you're at right now from a, you know, personal level, financial level as well, probably need another like 10 minutes worth of conversation content. But what I think would be best is just getting you in touch with that of a lender to really understand what you feel comfortable, because I know you mentioned for a few price points, and there's a lot of strategies that we can do on our side in order to get you into a home to make it feel like more of a deal on your end, such as doing seller pay commission costs, but then also on the back end later on, saying from where you're at from a price point, you know, being it is a little bit high right now, we could look to then talk about refinancing and programs and also doing buy down programs for that of you to help your price point be a lot more obtainable from where you're looking to go.
You look good, Maura.
The one I just picked up.
Hey, you guys. You guys be quiet, please, so Maura can hear. Maura, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
All right, let's rock and roll. Let me share the objection with you. It's on the screen, but I'll read it to you. It just says, we met in an open house and you're checking in with me the Monday after the open. And I say to you, Maura, sale prices are just too high for me to buy right now. Yeah. All right,
Ready?
go ahead, Maura. So we're already on the phone. I told you the objection. Now you take it from there.
Okay, so you say that sale prices are too high for you right now. What's your current living situation?
We own a home.
You own?
Yeah.
How long have you been in that home for?
I've been in the home for 5 years. It was our first house.
Cool. And have you been working with a mortgage officer? Did you like it, the person that you got your original mortgage through?
Yeah, they were okay. It was a realtor recommendation. But yeah, we have the contact, but we haven't talked to them yet.
Sure. What price point did you buy it?
I think our sale price was like 250.
That you purchased at 250?
Yep.
Have you had anybody do a CMA for you, a current market analysis on the home that you
No.
currently have?
No,
Sure.
Zillow saying like 350.
Yeah, that's Zillow is great. They do a good job at getting their posts, the first ones on Google, so that, but it would be really good to run a market analysis really based on what the last 6 months houses in your area and truly in the market that we're in right now, to get more of a closer snapshot because the market is changing more quickly. Do you have time that we could get together and
Sorry to interrupt, but so
no, go ahead.
what my concern is like I just don't know if I even want to sell our house right now because when we look at houses to buy, we just feel like they're probably a little inflated and they're probably gonna be coming down this next year. And so I just think that we want to wait till they start to come down.
Sure. Well, I think if you would have some time that we could get together, it would be great if we could look at real numbers and the real statistics. I can pull together some information on the house that you currently have. And if you choose not to sell it and keep it, there are ways that we could unlock some of the equity that you have built up in the home that you have. What's the reason that you would like that you're even thinking about potentially moving? Do you have some life change or some new baby in the family, or
My wife
what's the reason that
my wife just wants something newer, it's our first house, kind of a little fixer upper. So we're just looking to upgrade.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well,
I
it
would
would
live
be
in the
great if
house
we
forever,
could.
but my wife, she wants to move. So
Yeah, I hear you. We currently live in our first home, and as our kids are growing, it's always nice to have a little bit more room to grow in.
yeah.
Let's get some real numbers put together. Do you have time for a coffee on Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday is my day off. So
Wonderful. The morning or afternoon work better for you?
we can do the morning. That's fine.
Sure. 10 o'clock. You said you live in Blaine?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite coffee shop we can meet at?
Caribou.
Wonderful. I will send me your direct address. Send me a text with your direct address, and I'll pull together some current market information about what's going on in your neighborhood, put together some ideas of what kind of loans we could look at or what type of opportunities there would be, and I can pull together a couple of different mortgage people that you could interview to see what would be the best option for you guys. Maybe holding on to what you got is best move for right now, and maybe there's an opportunity that you could. It always helps to please your wife, right? They say happy wife, happy life.
Absolutely. She's the only thing that matters to me.
Awesome.
Especially when
So
she
10
watches
o'clock.
on Zoom. But good job. Okay. Let's get our votes in, judges.
All right. Moving on to the final. Okay. Want my opinion? Neither of you guys would have got the appointment. And here's why. I said it 1,000 times. I don't care about my mortgage payment. Like to a certain extent, right? We kind of, hey, I can swing whatever, right? I kept saying sale prices are inflated. And I want to wait till next year. Because they're gonna go down. So if I think that I'm not gonna sell my house right now, and you guys made me have a house in this scenario, right? Like, there's lots of times where people don't have a house in this scenario too. So like, what's the objection? What's the big misconception with my mindset?
They think that their price is gonna go down in the future for waiting.
Right. And if I have a house, it's even, well, it's even more of a reason. It's like, it's a wash. So like that objection should just go away, but neither of you guys brought that up in the first, you should be like, well, I hear you, but if prices go down on the other houses, it'll probably go down on yours too. So, like that's just one thing I would have said, but let's just assume they don't have a house, because the objection was mainly for that scenario. I'm glad Corey made me have a house right away. Gonna ask, it's like, you don't have to. I know why Corey's so good at it, because he just like makes me do what he wants. But like, okay, we don't have a crystal ball, right? So who knows what's gonna really happen? Maybe prices do go down, I don't know. But we have a severe lack of inventory still, even with all these houses hitting the market. And so if you just look at projections and everything, I think it's our duty to educate these buyers that, hey, prices probably aren't gonna go down, especially if rates come down. Like if rates come down, more buyers are gonna enter the market, sale prices are going to go up, because there's not nearly enough of them. So like waiting until houses come down is a very risky game to play. You're never gonna time the market perfectly. So I think in this objection, for me, it's just establishing like, keep seeing Nate's like head, just around the corner. All I can do is your head though, it's fun. But I think it's establishing like, okay, can you purchase a home, or do you want to purchase a home? Can you afford these payments? Are you comfortable with whatever, 3,000 a month? Because then it doesn't matter what the rates are, it doesn't matter. Are you comfortable with 3,000? Cool. Okay, so you're gonna end up buying a house for $3,000 a month. You're worried that the prices, or you think the prices are gonna come down. What if they don't? What if they don't? Then you're just not gonna move. You're gonna rent. Rent's gonna go up. Like, so I think it's just, if somebody tells you they're concerned about the prices, don't go into mortgage payments. That makes sense? Like, that made me feel comfortable, don't get me wrong, but that wasn't my concern, right? Some people are like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. But they are just not, they're on the sidelines because they're like, I'm waiting till the market crashes, or I'm waiting until the prices come down, and like, they're gonna keep waiting. I have people that have been waiting since 2013, still renting. And I'm just like, they should have bought when I told them to, but they didn't believe me. They thought the prices were coming down. So there might be a correction here and there, but what do we know about real estate over a long period of time? Does it always go up?
On average.
Historically, right? It has. So if you're gonna wait for them to come down, I just think you're waiting for something that may never happen. You know, unless it's a little blip in time and you time it out perfectly. So just explain that to them. Don't just start diving into things that maybe they don't care as much about. Take a minute, explain why we're probably not headed for a crash, and pure supply and demand, right? We're still seeing multiple offers. If we're still seeing builders not building enough houses, like that's a good sign that like we're probably not seeing prices go down. If builders are all complaining that they all have all this inventory and they can't sell any, and no one's selling houses, and it's taking 2 months even. Now, maybe people have a case like, yeah, prices might go down here soon. So maybe you want to wait a little bit. But again, if you have a house, doesn't really matter, you know, to a certain extent. So who else has something to offer on this one?
I think like one thing that we focus on our team is book the appointment, book the appointment, book the appointment. So like, I know that that's where Maura's head was, like, just book the appointment. Once you're there, you'll figure it out.
Yep.
But one thing that I would like to see more is focusing on the objection. Like the objection is right there. The objection is right there in your face. And if you're like, well, let's just go to the appointment, they're going to be feeling like they're not having their needs met.
Commission breath kind of starts to come out a little bit.
A
You know,
little.
just like,
yeah.
like if you're not hearing them and you're just like, yeah, we'll figure that out in a little bit. Let's just, when are you available? Like, sometimes I don't want to meet with you if I'm a buyer. I want to know now. Is my concern valid or not? Because I'm busy. I got, we're all got stuff going on. So I just think take a minute to explain and use the feel felt found method. I have lots of clients that think the same thing, and here's why they're actually deciding to buy right now. It's just that simple, guys. It's just like, but what you say matters. Like, you can't just kind of throw stuff out there. You gotta actually hit their objection. So, all right, for the interest of time, let's keep her moving. But great job. I mean, both of you guys again did a great job. It's not like it was wrong. It just made it take more time to get there. So
I got to skedaddle.
all right, see you, T Rush. All right. Who do we got? Who do we got?
I miss this because this is super nice.
Super nice. Oh. What do you say to a seller who is locked with a 2% interest rate? This lead has outgrown their home, but they love their current rate and payment. Let's do it.
Okay, so obviously you've got 5 kids running around this 2,000 square foot house, right? You don't have
Yeah,
enough space.
I'm really good at it.
Right, yeah, oh yeah. No doubt that. Right, but you're just, you guys don't have enough space with all the toys that they have. I mean, they're all growing up, right? Some are in the
Yeah.
kids, some are still, elementary school, so they've got a bunch of toys and a bunch of space that they need, right?
Mhm.
But obviously that 2% interest rate is kind of tough for you to let go of, right?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Mhm.
Oh, for sure. Right, so,
And we know we're probably not gonna get 2% again. I get that, but with rates at 7, it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know if we can stomach paying a 7% interest rate.
right, absolutely. So with you having that 2% interest rate, obviously you've been in the home for quite a while then, right?
Well, we just refinanced 2 years ago. Yeah, we've been in the house for 4 years.
For sure. So you definitely have a bit of an equity to put towards your home.
I think so. Yeah.
I would say so. So definitely, there's different routes to go without, like you said, you're a smart guy, so you're understanding that the interest rates probably aren't gonna be 2%.
Mhm.
There's ways to get that lower. You're not stuck at a 7% interest rate. Obviously, like I said, since you have that good equity in that home, that you're able to put a little bit maybe more down on the house to help lower that right away also.
Mhm.
But there's different ways to get that interest rate up, right? Like we have the option of 3-2-1 buy down rate, 2-1 buy down rate. There's plenty of different ways to help you get that interest rate lower, and we'll just have to get you connected with the right lender. And we can go through a process of that, of you filling out different applications and whatnot to find out what works best for you and your family.
Mhm.
Does that sound like something you would want to go, or a road you try to want to go down?
I mean, we definitely have the need to move. And I'm concerned that the rates are not gonna come down, and then the 3-2-1 buy down, we can't really refinance out of it, once it hits that 3rd year,
Right.
if rates haven't come down.
Right.
So I don't know, just kind of concerned about what the rates could be.
For sure. So historically, I mean, what we see goes up has to come down at some point, right?
Yeah, typically.
So theoretically, the rates are supposed to come down, whether it's, 6 months or 6 years, they're gonna come down at some point. So like you said, going with that buy down rate might not be the best option. Maybe buying with a 7% interest rate might be good now. But typically what we're seeing is hoping for rates to come down here in the next 6 months, and when rates come down, purchase prices go higher. Right, so if the purchase prices are going higher, you're not gonna be able to, it's gonna even out no matter what. You're gonna be paying a little bit more for a purchase price than the interest rate, but you're gonna win on parts of this transaction, you're gonna lose on some parts of the transaction. It depends what you wanna, or what you can change down the road, basically.
No, it's a good point. I do like the idea of getting into a house for a little less money on the sale price
Right,
than what they might do. So,
and you can always change your interest rate.
well, we only got 7 minutes to get through 2 matchups, so I don't know if that's gonna happen, but let's get it going here. Objection. What do you say to a seller who is locked with a 2% interest rate? This lead has outgrown their home, but they love their current rate and payment.
Wait. Who am I doing it with?
Me. Hey, at least I'm not TK. TK is brutal.
Yeah, we're just on the phone probably, or we in?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So obviously you're looking at getting a new home, you're locked in at 2%. All
Yep.
right, most of America's like that. Sweet, right? That's, I'll be honest with you, just gonna report on time today. We're not gonna get you out to 2%, correct?
And we're aware of that. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously we have programs in place to help you out with that. We could do a 2-1 buy down rate. We could even do a 3-1 buy down rate.
Mhm.
Like there's programs to help you with. And the cool thing too is we're kind of shifting into a buyer's market too. So like that's also helping you.
Mhm.
Like obviously you guys didn't move. Are you in a time crunch? Do you have a baby on the way?
We just have like 5 kids. We gotta get out of this house, man.
So you don't.
We own a house, yeah.
Okay, so what's your kind of purchase price point that you're looking at right now?
I don't know. I mean, we're on Zillow, like around 500. It seems like.
Okay, what do you think your home might be worth right now?
I'm not positive, like 350.
Okay, so I think the first step is I should come over, we'll do a quick CMA. That way, shit, you might even be at like 430, 450, right?
Maybe.
You like, obviously, we have no idea until we know.
Yeah.
But like, I think that will help you kind of comfort yourself a little bit, especially if you're looking at a $500,000 home, then your loan's only 50K.
Yeah, the thing is like, we're just concerned that the rates aren't gonna come down. Like, people have talked to us about the 3-2-1 buy down or the 2-1 buy down. But like, if the rates don't come down, now we're stuck still at 7% or even maybe higher. And, I don't know, it's tough to leave that 2% on the door, you know?
Yeah, well, like you said, obviously you need to move. So
That's right.
why not do it today when the market's kind of shifting towards a buyer's market like you guys?
Well, I have to sell, so that's not great.
Yeah, but you're working with me.
That's true.
You know, we're the best team in Blaine right now.
That
We're
is
gonna-
true.
We're gonna sell your home for more, right?
Yep.
But then you also got me on your side, on the buyer side. I just sold a home last week and we got it, or not, I didn't sell it. I had a buyer that got it for 30K under ask. So
Wow.
like, who you work with matters, man. So I'm just.
Dude. Nate is on fire right now, bro.
Infomercial.
It's literally, dude, you are hovering above all of us right now. It's so good. I can't even look at you. It's so good. Just stop. You're too good. Just stop. Moving on to the championship round. Nate Park. Dude. Now, Max's was good, but like, you just ran into a buzzsaw, dude. I would have lost to Nate. Holy shit. Nate, dog.
Nice, good question.
I'm gonna lead you home without
Seriously, that's the only one you missed. Oh my god.
Could you have gone,
What was
could
that,
you have
Maura?
gone after that with like would presenting them with an opportunity if they're in a financial position where they could afford to do a contract for deed on the sale of their home and offer, say, a 5 or 6% rate to the buyer.
I
Could
think it's a
that
creative
translate
option to
4%?
explore. You know, I think the other alternative too with this is maybe they don't want to get rid of that house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe they keep it as a rental, be like, you know what, I totally hear you. Let's hold on to that sucker. That's a great investment opportunity for you. I don't know, you know, but you know,
Maybe talk HELOCs too. like-
yeah, I think the one thing that I was trying to get you guys to also throw out there is there are programs so you can just buy down the rate at a fixed rate too. Not, you know what I mean? Not just a 3-2-1 buy down. There's like, just buy it down so that it's not going to be as low as a 3-2-1, but you could buy it down to, I don't know, 6.5 or
that buys some
something,
Security, yeah.
you know, where it's just like locked versus 3-2-1, and then it could go back up to 7 or whatever. So just remember there's that program as well. But I mean, I think Nate just did a really good job of being like, yeah, but you got to sell. Like, you can't stay in that house. You have 5 kids. So like, I know it hurts that you're not gonna keep that 2% interest rate, but like, it's irrelevant kind of, you know, he can said it in a really nice way. And I thought I boxed you in for a second because I was like, well, I have to sell too, but you were ready for that shit.
Can't box me.
You absolutely like Neo Matrix just and we're just like, yeah, well, you got me though, and boom. And I was like, well, you're right.
You're right.
But like, honestly, like, but Nate, you did a good job because you like believed it. You know what I mean? Like your energy was good where I was just like, this fucking guy's gonna give me 30,000 under asking price. This fucking guy is gonna, you know, sorry, earmuffs, Ariana. But they're not feeling very good today, so they stayed home. But yeah, this guy was oozing confidence. So it was tough to turn that down. So great job, but that's all I can say. All right. We have our championship matchup, which is Mora versus Nate Dogg. He wants the belt, Mora. He's coming for the belt. You gotta come out ready to go.
Bring it on, pal.
No, you're first.
Oh, I'm first?
Yeah, you're first. All right, Mora, I'm gonna throw you in the waiting room.
Everyone wants me to
Nope, there's Ari. Hi, Ari.
Great.
Say hi to everyone. You feeling better?
Does that owe you any money for swearing?
Yeah, the swear jar is gonna get filled up. All right, rates just went up again. I want to wait for them to come down before I buy. This is a lead that you have been. You were perfect, perfect to tell this one. This is a lead that you have been following up with for a while that is renting.
So Melissa, obviously we're looking at getting home, correct?
Yes,
What do you think rates are at right now?
7%.
Okay, what would you kind of like them to get down to?
3.
Okay.
You wanted Melissa.
Yeah. So obviously there's programs to help with that. Are you in a time crunch?
No,
Like renting?
I love it.
Really?
It's got a pool.
But what if we can get you on the home with it? Cool.
Sure.
Okay, hey, now we're on to something here. Now we're on the right track. Okay, so we could do a 2-1 buy down rate. There's also another program where we can buy down rate. Is your credit score good too?
Great.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay, well, you may have a great credit score, so you might not even get locked in at 7%. You might get locked in at like 6.5. And lucky for you, we have really good private like lenders that can maybe even get you at 6% too. They just gotta work a little bit of magic. But that's why you find somebody like me to help you get that. Because you're not gonna get that with anybody else, trust me. Like you just gotta trust the Tyler Miller team on this one.
Mhm.
So would that be something that you're okay with? If we can get you at a 6%, we can get you into a home or a home with a pool. Would you be interested? And it's an investment, right? You're not making any money off of renting, correct? You're
Right.
feeding somebody else's pocket right now,
Mhm.
okay? Why not feed your own pocket?
That sounds great. But
Oh.
prices are also high too.
But,
So-
can you hear me out?
Mhm.
We're kind of shifting out of the seller's market.
Mhm.
So hear me out, just had a buyer 2 weeks ago. We got 30K under asking and sellers paid closing.
Okay.
Didn't have a pool though, unfortunately. But we'll get you a pool.
Could they buy down my rate?
Could they? We could try.
Is there a benefit to buying when rates are higher?
I mean, yeah, I mean, like, anytime's a good time to buy because you're making equity. That's the goal when you buy a home, is you always want that equity. So if your plan is to wait for 3% interest rates, but that doesn't happen 6 years down the road, you're losing all that equity. But you're just paying somebody else to get their equity and paying their mortgage, and you're losing out on all that money. Right? So like, I know the 6% is scary, but in the long run, you're making more money.
Dude, it's locked in. All right. Last one, guys. Let's get it locked in. Rates just went up again. I want to wait for them to come down before I buy. This is a lead that you have been following up with for a while. That is renting.
Okay, so Melissa, give me the down low. You said that you have been renting. How long have you been renting for? Have you ever owned a home?
No.
No. So what price point are you renting at?
I pay $2,000 a month.
Okay. How does that fit in your budget?
It's doable. You had to make 3
Yeah.
times what rent was to get on the lease.
Right. And how long is your lease for?
It is a 12-month lease. There's 6 months left.
Okay, wonderful. And last time that you renewed your lease, I'm sure there's like a percentage that it goes up every time you renew your lease. Is that right?
Yeah, I can't remember, but it goes up.
It's like typically like 3 to 5% that it increases every year. So, as you can see, the prices for renting is only going to go up. And you said that that rates went up again and you want to wait for them to come down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you ever owned a home before?
Never.
No. Okay. So there are actually right now, it's really awesome. Have you been talking with a mortgage officer at all?
No.
Okay. So I think let's get some information at your fingertips first so that you can make a really informed decision. It's really important to have the most information possible to make really smart decisions and then go from there. So The first thing that I'd like to do is introduce you. I'll send you two of my favorite mortgage officers that are the best at figuring out what first-time home buyers down payment assistance programs are. Have you been saving up for a down payment?
Yes.
Cool. And really, it takes a little while. The process isn't like, oh, I'm ready to buy a house today and I'm going to buy it tomorrow, right? There's a lot of steps that need to go along the process. And so let's start the process with getting you lined up with figuring out what down payment assistance you're qualify for, what realistically would take. You said you have 6 months left on your lease, right?
Yes.
So between then and now, I mean, it's really, who knows what the rates are going to do, but every time that the interest rates drop by 0.25%, it's another 250,000 buyers enter into the market that they qualify for a loan. So right now, you know, interest rates, it looks really overwhelming, but let's get the numbers in front of you so that you know what it really equates out to. Sorry, my daughter just came up. And we can get some tangible numbers in front of you and then go from there. And between now and when your lease is up, we'll be ready to make the move, or you can choose to renew your lease at a 3 to 5% increase. What do you think?
Good slam. Yep, that was a good slow there.
Nice job, nice job.
What?
We got a cast for a vote.
I don't know.
It's like when you wanted me to not get under 100 on the golf course the other day.
We did it, though. I know, I told you that, I'm not gonna lie. Screw it up. You get under 100? Shut up. No, on the front nine. When I started falling back.
I'm waiting.
Yes,
I'm
I got a
waiting.
vote. I already cast my vote. I'm done. I'm not.
All right. Oh, dang it. I thought you were gonna be a tiebreaker.
Okay. The champion for today's battle. Oh, man. Okay, first off, Maura, you did amazing, and you closed Melissa real good at the end there. I think Nate, to me, addressed a little more my concern about interest rates being too high. But Maura was taking a very calculated approach and like would have easily helped the buyers see that it's time to move and get out of renting, right? So Maura, like you guys both had two different tactics. They both worked. I just think the objection was maybe handled a little bit better by Nate in the short period of time. That's my 2 cents. Anybody else have anything they want to add to that?
They both were great answers.
Yeah. But here's one thing you guys didn't say, and this is always a go-to, in my opinion, if someone's renting and they're complaining about rates, what's the interest rate on rent?
100%.
Hundo percento, right? So like, okay, rates are high, but you're renting. Like, let's get you into a home so you can start building wealth. Do you guys know how much more wealth a homeowner has on average than a renter? The statistics say 40 times more wealth. So at the end of the day, renting versus buying, the rate probably really shouldn't matter, as long as, again, they can afford the house, right? You don't want to put them in a house where they're like, the rate's too high and they can't afford it. But if you can afford a home, interest rates are 100% renting, let's get you and let's start building wealth, because over time, real estate goes up. So I mean, that could be as quick as it needs to be, but what Maura was doing was actually gonna show like renting is throwing your money away. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, Melissa, you want to add anything else?
I like that Nate touched on the equity growth, like the, if you wait to buy, then you lose out on the equity. So that was a good touch.
Yours was definitely like more unpolished, but it was like real, you know what I mean? where Morris was definitely more like calculated, so they both could work just
Mhm.
fine.
You better get free use of that pool, man. That pool
Yeah,
better be
you
free
pool-
use.
You guys are all
You
invited.
better deliver on the amazing deal.
You want the $25 million potentially, or $10 cash?
I'm a gambler, man.
You did lose in poker.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's play again next week.
It's like he's playing, like, he's taking bets on
Monopoly.
his freaking fantasy football trades too, like. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna bluff the shit out of these guys. But anyways, really quick, let's give everybody a round of applause for being here. Thank you, that sick team that haven't been here before. Feedback, what do you guys think? Do you learn
I
something?
thought it was really fun and I learned a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's our best training we do. I never had anything like this when I mean, Eddie Diner
Never.
Realty ever. So I think it's kind of intimidating, right? It's like, you gotta stand up and talk in front of people, but it's also by doing that, he's giving you guys ammunition to go, use out there. So I appreciate all you guys for volunteering to do it. But yeah, stick around for as long as you guys want. We're gonna hang out and, can we all get a quick photo together? Is that okay? Like, maybe out there. I think we can get a better one up there.
Better light.
Better lighting, it's all about the lighting. And then, everybody on Zoom, thank you so much for watching, and for participating. We'll send the link out so you guys can have it if you want, but, yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you.